Robbie, last time we chatted, you were about to begin the eSports League. Since then, there's been 3 games for yourself. Let's start with the first one, shall we? You went 2-0 down.
Yeah, first one, a lot of pressure. Obviously, you want to do well first game. Obviously, going 2-0 down at half time is not a great start, and it's not what you want to start with. But then coming back 3-2 is obviously a really good result in the end, and a good performance in the second half for myself, I'd say.
And when you go 2-0 down, is it like when you're playing real football, if we could use that term? There's a lot of pressure on you, and you know that next goal is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, I think it took the pressure off me, which was weird, because I just thought, I'm losing anyway, so I might as well just take my time and play my own game. And then playing my own game instead of being under pressure helped me, and I managed to win.
And then the week afterwards, well, you had a difficult one in that particular game.
Yeah, I was going quite confident into that game, thinking obviously I won the first game. I thought I'd come back from anything, but the guy was very good. Obviously, lost 2-0, but he had a lot of the possession. He just kept passing it to his own team, didn't give up the ball, and it's just a tough one to deal with, really.
And I guess, in many ways, these are people that you've never played against before, and the name of the team doesn't mean anything that you're representing. It's the individual player.
Yeah, because you can get good players at any team. It's not actually how good they are on a pitch, it's how good they are on a game, I suppose, isn't it? So it's completely different. They're not at the club for a game, they're at the club as a player. So.
Now, when the New Saints loses a game of football, and I'm talking to Scott Rusco the week afterwards in the press conference, one of the questions I will say to him is, it's always important to win, but how important is it to win now to bounce back after that defeat? And in the third game, how important was that for you?
Yeah, well, luckily the third game was a lot easier than the other 2, and it was a good bounce back game, obviously winning 6-1, but the guy got quite unfortunate that he got 2 red cards. The second one was very unfortunate, he shouldn't have been sent off, but it's the game of football, I suppose.
And you missed a penalty as well.
Yeah, I missed a penalty, like 2 minutes in it must have been, at 0-0. I was so gutted. I was like, this could be a nightmare of a game, but I managed to carry on and win the game.
Now, in real life, again, if we could use that term, you are a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So what's it like playing eSports, taking the penalty as a keeper?
Yeah, well, I tried to go a bit too confident and tried to put it in the top corner, and then he just read it well and must have saved it. It's penalties, as a keeper, I know it's just very 50-50, if not more to the attacker, and unfortunately I missed this one.
And you mentioned the 2 sendings off, normally what happens in a game of football. A foul's committed, a second yellow card is produced, or a straight red.
Yeah.
How does it work in eSports?
Yeah, it's the same as applies, but this guy had 2 straight reds. I think the game on the second one just was very unfortunate with him. He was a bit late, but it was never a red card. First one, obviously, I was through on goal, and he's pulled me down, bad tackle, but straight red it was as well.
And there's no VAR, no opportunity to put an appeal in while you're playing the game?
No, and I'm sure a lot of people wish they could raging at the controller, because the game's not always the perfect with what it is. Obviously it's a game, it's not people, but the rules in that aren't perfect in real life either. People get decisions wrong.
And there are 18 teams in the league, and the individual players have now featured 2 or 3 times. Yeah. And there's just one team, Maesteg, with a 100% record. Is that an indication perhaps of where the season might go, that it might be a difficult one with teams or individual players able to beat one player one week and then maybe lose the next?
Yeah, it's hard to be very consistent on a video game because the game's not always consistent itself, so you've got to kind of work with what you've got, I suppose. But the guy in the second game, Maesteg, you can see why he's not lost a game. He hardly lets you have the ball, to be fair, so well done to him.
And you have a game tonight as well. We're talking on Friday morning before training. You have a game this evening.
Yeah, I have a game this evening. Hopefully I can get off to another win again, and then that'll be three wins, which will be a good start of 4 games, I think.
And I did mention the last time we chatted, the season hadn't started. It was also considerably warmer as well. Yeah. One of the advantages of eSports, I guess, is that you're in a nice, comfortable, warm room, so you don't have to worry about the cold.
Yeah, obviously, this morning's not obviously the warmest, but it's when you're inside, you're fine. You're warm, and it keeps your hands warm. Don't want them being cold when you're using the controller.
And shall we get back to the New Saints, because today you're training with the first team. Tomorrow is a big game indeed for TNS away at Bala Town.
Yeah, another big game tomorrow away at Bala. Obviously we played them earlier in the year, but the lights failed, which is not great, but obviously we can hopefully go there and win the game tomorrow.
Well, we mentioned drama in your game in the eSports League. That was certainly an evening of drama. 2-0 down, like you were earlier. We came back to 2-2 right at the end. Fantastic goal from Leo Smith and an equally impressive strike from Ryan Astles. But we go again tomorrow. Do you feel that game previously will have a bearing on tomorrow's game?
I think it'll help us because obviously we know how they're going to play. We knew anyway, but when you've played them, it's a better insight on how they're going to play, and hopefully we can just not concede those 2 early goals or those 2 goals in the first half, and then hopefully we can go on to win the game.
And you're in a pretty decent position in the eSports League. You're 4th.
Yeah.
The New Saints is top of the JD Cymru Premier. The only game tomorrow being played in Wales, but win, and it's 8 points clear. That's a great carrot dangling in front of the team.
It's a brilliant gap to be ahead of. Obviously, with uncertain times with this COVID and that lot, it's obviously great to be ahead as much as we can.
Robbie, all the best this evening in your South Wales eSports League, and of course tomorrow at Maes Tegid.
Thank you.